Straight ahead on 12 News Weekend, torn over apartments. Why some Brooklyn Park City Council members felt a proposal to build apartments along Highway 610 wasn't the right fit. Then, a necessary and possibly expensive fix.
I'm clearing the snow from the roof before we steam.
Why professional ice dam removers say it's the busiest winter in decades. But first, voted down in Golden Valley. Why residents spoke out against a plan to help kids with mental illness. 12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. I'm DeLane Cleveland. We start with a passionate debate in Golden Valley and an interesting question posed to the City Council. Is it safe to treat children with mental illness near people's homes? The council heard a lot of opposition this week to a proposed treatment facility at 345 Pennsylvania Avenue. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains.
This property at 345 Pennsylvania Avenue has potential. It is zoned to be a restaurant, a medical clinic, even a daycare. Most recently, a church used this building to house a media ministry.
It's not a time to be PC. We're talking about the safety of children, seniors, grandchildren, and everybody else.
But at Wednesday night's City Council meeting, residents overwhelmingly voiced concern over what they didn't want there: a facility to treat school-aged children with mental illness.
I strongly urge you to give consideration to this not being the right fit for our neighborhood.
A company called Lifespan, with facilities in Burnsville and Shoreview, wanted to renovate the building and treat kids ages 5 to 18 there during school hours.
Although they've been struggling in other environments, we create a safe, secure environment for them to function so that they can work on their issues.
But while most residents said they supported what the facility does to help children, they said they didn't want the traffic and the safety risk near their home.
I'm definitely concerned about somebody running away. If they are going to run away, even if they don't get far, they can get the 80 feet to my house.
The thought of our kids being outside and exposed to the level of emotionally disturbed kids that are across the street from us, we're right on the corner.
They do need a place. I support the organization. I do not support the location.
The council voted down the permit, with most council members citing the facility didn't fit with the surrounding neighborhood.
I would like to see this facility in our community properly placed.
The vote was 3-2 against the project. We also reached out to Lifespan. CEO Tracy Hackman says she was stunned and saddened by the decision. She went on to say, "Our extreme disappointment is not about a building, but more so of the offensive and inflammatory language used to describe our clients, children, which points to our community's lack of understanding of children with mental illness." The company says it's still interested in having a facility somewhere in the Northwest Metro to meet the needs of children. Well, a proposal to build high-end apartments in Brooklyn Park has reached a dead end. The Springs at 610 Crossings would have been built on a site north of Highway 610, but as Mike Johnson reports, some council members felt it wasn't the right fit.
We could choose instead to jumpstart this area that is desperate to be jump-started.
Do we want this style of apartment on that piece of land?
The proposal to build 340 townhome-style units on 25 acres has been debated for months. It would have been the first multifamily apartment built in Brooklyn Park in more than 20 years. Consideration was delayed since June while a task force looked into it, but there was still disagreement over whether it's good enough for a key piece of property along Highway 610.
Would it be A-level apartments, and that's my understanding of what an A-level apartment is, or wouldn't it? And would it be best for Brooklyn Park on a long-term basis? Not an easy decision.
Councilmember Mike Trepanier says unattached garages lowers the quality, a mistake he says was made in the past, and he says it's too much density for the space.
Using about 25 acres for 340 units doesn't fit for me. I do not believe it fits the comprehensive plan.
For this property, Councilmember Rich Gates says the comprehensive plan should have been changed.
This project is what Brooklyn Park needed. We've got, thousands of jobs coming to this city with Target and Baxter and Olympus and now Prairie Care. And people want to live where they work. And this is what Brooklyn Park needed.
Gates points out the apartments would offer something the city doesn't have.
Brooklyn Park needs a diverse housing stock. We have apartments in our city, in the southern part of the city, that are from the 1960s. They're all one bedrooms.
So what happens next is unclear. Trepanier says it's worth waiting to get the best project possible.
I believe we can afford to wait. And in fact, I'd phrase it stronger than that. I believe we need to wait.
And for the bank that owns the property, it's back to the drawing board.
This was the only proposal they've had besides McDonald's and the Quick Trip since they've owned the land, since they bought it out of foreclosure. So they don't know what to do now. They're back to the drawing board as well.
Mike Trepanier says there is an agreement that apartments are needed in the northern part of Brooklyn Park. He says this project might have worked somewhere else, just not along the 610 area. Well, the Robbinsdale School District is responding to criticism after students were sent to a church to do charity work. A parent raised concerns about a food packing event for needy families in Haiti. It took place last year at Calvary Lutheran Church in Golden Valley. That parent felt it violated separation between church and state. The school district believes the complaint has no legal merit. A district spokesperson says it was simply a service learning activity.
It just happened to be held in a church facility, and there was absolutely no religious activity or evangelizing, and our students were there strictly to assemble the food packs, and they learned a lot about civic duty.
A Washington, D.C. based group that addresses separation of church and state has asked the district that it no longer take the field trip in the future. The district has no plans of canceling future food packing events. In our Week in Review, a longtime Maple Grove City Council member pleads guilty to stealing thousands of dollars from her dying father. Prosecutors say LeAnn Sargent admitted to stealing more than $35,000 while she had power of attorney over her father's finances. Sargent has served on the City Council since 1991. By law, Sargent is eligible to serve on the council until a judge accepts her guilty plea. That isn't expected to happen until an April 7th court date. Kohl's department store is leaving one Northwest Metro suburb for another. Kohl's is moving from its longtime Brooklyn Center location to the site of a former Rainbow Foods off Rockford Road in Plymouth. A representative from Kohl's says all of the employees at the Brooklyn Center store have been offered positions at the Plymouth location or other stores in the Twin Cities. And Plymouth is moving forward with a $1.4 million plan to improve the Hilde Performance Center. After the Music in Plymouth event this summer, work will begin on a new central entrance, new restrooms, and trail improvements. There are also plans to build a Veterans Memorial at the Hilde Center site. Well, coming up on 12 News Weekend, an issue many homeowners in the Northwest Metro are dealing with right now, ice dams. Then later in sports, Osseo and Armstrong go head-to-head in girls basketball. But first, a very chilly Monday awaits, then a slight warm-up begins. The extreme cold hasn't left yet, and when you factor in all the snow this winter, you've got a troublesome 1-2 punch for homeowners. Here's Sonia Goins.
Because of the amount of snow and then it not being tremendously warm, so there's a lot of snow on people's roofs.
Look around any neighborhood and you're bound to see rooftops that are covered with snow.
There's a lot of snow in back.
But don't let the picturesque scene fool you.
Most people kind of ignore it until they have a leak inside.
It could be problematic. Jeremy Charles has spent a lot of time up on roofs lately. He's been busy clearing ice dams.
If your vents get covered, the heat builds up in the attic, that melts the snow that's on the shingles. It comes to the edge of the roof, and then at your soffit, you have an overhang here, that cold air is coming up underneath and it refreezes at the edge when it hits the air.
For some people, icicles hanging on your roof are kind of pretty, but experts say it could be a sign that something ugly is going on with your roof.
If you have icicles coming through there, that's a sign that water is getting into your attic.
The Plymouth homeowner called after he spotted water coming inside the house through a window.
There's a puddle 1.5 inches deep that I'm stepping in right now.
It's going to take hours to destroy the mess that Mother Nature has left behind.
So I'm clearing the snow from the roof before we steam.
After the snow is removed, Jeremy fires up the motor on the steamer. The high-powered hot water removes the ice. He says you can avoid ice dams by taking care of two things:
insulation and ventilation, and they're equally important. You want to keep the heat in your house and you actually want to keep the roof deck or the shingles cold.
In Plymouth, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
You can also avoid ice dams by cleaning your gutters in the fall. Blocked gutters and downspouts can also cause ice dams. Well, coming up, seniors in Crystal show us a toe-tapping good time. But first, local athletes put their college choices in writing on National Signing Day. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox. Welcome back. Jay Wilcox joins us now with sports and perhaps one of the biggest weeks in the lives of high school athletes.
That's for sure. They get excited about this, and then it means the next step in their lives, too, and I think that's a big part of it for them as well. It may not be the same feeling as scoring a touchdown or a goal or winning a race, but National Signing Day is for many student athletes just as big in a different way. Wednesday was National Letter of Intent Day for several local athletes. Football is the big sport that's recognized this time. At Wayzata, 3 of the 8 signees were football players, including Gophers recruit Brandon Lingen. Cross-country, track and field, and soccer athletes also signed at various schools. 5 boys and 1 girl were honored at a ceremony at Hopkins High School. At Maple Grove, there was a ceremony for 8 seniors, 5 of them from the Crimson's 10-1 football team. Cooper honored 7 athletes, 5 of them from the Hawks football team, highlighted by wide receiver Kayvon Hawkins, signing with 3-time defending FCS champ North Dakota State. Here's what a handful of local signees had to say.
You know, growing up in Minnesota, I was always a big Minnesota sports fan. I always cheered for the Vikings and Gophers, and I knew right away where I always wanted to go, and I'm just happy I got to make that dream a reality.
It feels good, you know, having someone wanting you to come and play for them. And it just shows that hard work pays off. And I mean, all the hard work I've put in throughout my whole career finally pays off, and it feels good to get this over with.
Big Ten football. Well, it'd be one of the greatest experiences of my life. Being able to go on to Kinnick Stadium with all my team, my family, my new family, that'd be crazy. I think I just got a great opportunity. I'm not going to waste it.
I like how they like to win. That's what I like the most. I also liked how it just felt like home when I went on my official visit. And I also like the other recruiting coaches and that whole other coaching staff, but since they left, they brought in a bunch of great new guys, and I appreciate them as well.
And here now is a look at a list of the local Division I and Division II signees. In girls basketball, Osseo looking for a season sweep of Armstrong. Osseo moves the ball around effectively here. It gives Kiara Russell an open look for a 3, and that gives Osseo an 11-5 lead. Osseo's Io poured off a steal, and in transition, she'll draw the contact, scores it, and gets the foul. Port scores 15 with 14 rebounds on the night. Osseo builds on that lead. Maddie Malone from the corner with the 3 makes it 30-12 Orioles. They're up 33-14 at the half. More of the same for Osseo in the second half, sharing the ball and finding the open player. Katara Etheridge gets a long 2 here. Osseo wins for the 3rd time in their past 4 games, 62-38. Since January 9th, the Totino Grace boys hockey team had gone 7-2 and looked to continue that good streak at home against rival Benilde St. Margaret's. First period, and Benilde's Chase Jungles finds Carter Rue. The former Totino Grace Stars goal makes it 2-0 Benilde. Second period, Peter Heimbold's shot is redirected in by Nate Meyer, and it's 4-0 Benilde. It looks like they are on their way. But Grace rallies. Carter Lyons shoots. Joey Bray pops in the rebound. The Eagles are on the board. Then Kai Barber gets around a defenseman and whistles a shot in top shelf for the goal, and it's 4-2. Third period, 4-3 now. A scrum in front of the Benilde goal, and Barber pokes it in, and we are tied up at 4 apiece. And Grace is able to complete a great comeback. Jacob Homer scores for a 5-4 Eagles lead, and they go on to win this one 6-4. And good matchup there and a great comeback. Boy, sometimes you think you're down 4-0, you don't have a chance, but they showed otherwise right there.
Yeah, those rivalry games, you never know what's going to happen.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Jake.
You bet.
Well, still ahead, seniors that don't miss a beat. We'll take you to Crystal, where fitness is fun. Classic films of generations ago featured graceful moves from the likes of Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, and Gene Kelly. But you don't have to watch old movies just to see people tap dance. The art is still alive and well in the Northwest Metro.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4
Local community centers offer a variety of programs
and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8
and activities
Step, clap
to keep people fit and entertained.
5, 4, 3.
But talk to this group of seniors, and for them, tap dance is the only way to go.
It's a happy sound. And I thought that's what tap is to me. Growing up, it just makes me feel happy. I want to be able to do that.
And let's try the other foot.
Kathy and Scott Kohanek are a husband and wife team who took up tap dancing in the fall.
I really enjoy it. I'm a musician, and so I have a rhythmic sense, I believe, and I really like the percussion, and I've always loved the sound of tap.
Leading this class is professional dancer and performer Stephanie Stockton. She's been teaching seniors at different community centers since the late 90s.
And because I was getting older, I thought, this is where I belong. I belong helping older adults have a good time and achieve a little more healthful kinds of activities to do.
Every tap dance class involves a warm-up,
Let's start with tapping those toes.
a review of basic steps,
The shuffle, and put your toe behind in a ball.
followed by work on the different routines.
The most fun is watching people come in who think they have 2 left feet and find they've got 2 tapping feet.
It's a way for these seniors to have fun and get in a good workout.
I come here for the fun and the movement, and we'll keep coming back.
Even if following Stockton's moves isn't the easiest task in the world.
Don't worry about making a mistake. We're not trying out for the Rockettes of New York.
Well, Stephanie Stockton teaches tap dance classes at the Crystal Community Center, the Plymouth Creek Center, and at several other sites around the metro. For a complete list, go to our website at 12.tv. So what do you think, Jay? Can you maybe do some tap dancing?
Well, you went out there to do the story, so I think you're going to have to teach me a little bit. I'm sure you got some pointers out there.
Well, you know, if the seniors can do it, we can do it. They said anyone can do it.
Looked like a lot of fun.
All right. Well, that's all the news for now. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday at 4.